Hi there, I'm Nancy Herring from Now We're Cooking. It's Tuesday, so it's time for tips, tricks, and treats. And in case you didn't know, there is a big sporting event this weekend, and I'm not supposed to say it, but I'm going to say it. It's the Super Bowl. And for a lot of people, this is one of their bigger food holidays because no presents have to be made, have to be shopped for. You don't have to do anything traditional. You usually just get together with your friends and family and yell at the TV and watch the commercials and enjoy yourselves. So to that end, I've got 3 recipes that I've already done some of them, the rest I'm going to show you, that are easy to do, easy to prepare ahead and have ready, because I want to watch the game and I want to watch the commercials and I don't want to be in the kitchen doing things. You may be we have a meal all at once, or you may be that we just graze throughout the game. Whatever works for you. What I've got going is I made some chili. We're gonna do a layered dip, and I'll show you the layered bars. So think layers right now. The layered dip has a lot of names, but this one I'm just gonna call it a layered dip. You can do it on a platter. You can do it in a 9x13. I'm using a big pie pan because if I was taking it someplace, it's easier to transport when your dish has sides as opposed to flat. So the first layer is a can of refried beans and mixed with taco seasoning. So again, if your beans have a lot of flavor, if you find some that are already flavored, skip the taco seasoning. These were just plain, and this is just regular taco seasoning. So I'm gonna spread that out as best I can. And if you don't like a layer, don't use a layer. If you wanna put something different, usually, a lot of these recipes don't call for sour cream. I like sour cream, so I'm going to put a sour cream layer. So got my beans going. Oh, let me turn this off. I hear it sputtering away. And I'm using my fingers, sorry, but I am. Okay, so I've got beans. The next layer is either guacamole that you make or guacamole that you buy. And I bought guacamole. Super Bowl Sunday is one of the largest avocado usage days, but I didn't want to mess with that, so I just purchased guacamole. And I'm going to spread it to the edge. So a good guacamole layer. Now I'm going to put cheese, and then I'm going to put green chili and green onions. Then I'm going to put the sour cream, and then I'm going to decorate the top. So guacamole, beans, that looks pretty darn good. This is a combination of cheddar cheese and Monterey Jack. Again, whatever cheese you like. You could put the cheese on the top. I want the cheese in the middle so that when you dig down with the chip, it's like, ooh, hey, I got some cheese. So some cheese. This is just green chili. I did put some garlic powder and some salt and pepper on it because it didn't have a lot of spice to it. If you put up your own green chili, by all means use that. If you want to use green chili sauce, if you want to put a layer of salsa, that's, again, but whew, this said it was mild. I'm catching a little heat aroma, which is even better. So just spread it out as best as you can. Okay, then there was a couple of pieces of cheese left in my bowl. Let's just go ahead and put those in there too. And I thought about putting some seasoning in this sour cream, but I think there's so much other spice going on that just plain sour cream will be a nice little difference. And again, if you don't want sour cream, you don't like sour cream, don't use it. You could, this is light sour cream, you can use full fat sour cream, you could use Greek yogurt, you could use any of those things. And I don't want a huge layer of it, I just want a little chill in there with some of that heat. dollop, I think. So I can still see the goodie underneath, but I've got a nice white layer. All right, sour cream. And now for the top. I've got tomatoes, I've got green onions, I've got black olives, and I had some red bell peppers left over from something else, so I'm gonna use them all. So this is where you can go around the edge and try and make it look real pretty. I'll see how I do with that. Or you can just pile it all on at once. So if you're more patient than I am sometimes, you can just line them all up like little soldiers, but this is, okay. So a green onion snuck in there, so the next layer has to be green onions because the tomatoes and the green onions are becoming friends with each other. And I may or may not do the red bell peppers, but I might. Okay, I think that's enough. And again, you do you. If you hate tomato onions and you don't want to do this, don't do it. I'm going to put the olives, that one I am going to try and do a little bit. These are just plain black olives. I cut them in half because I had whole olives. If you already have them sliced, use them sliced. If you don't like olives, don't put olives on. You could sprinkle the top of this with some chili powder if you wanted to, but I think there's enough spice going on in it. I am gonna put, I'm not gonna put the red bell peppers. No, I got them, let's do them. Let's mix them in with the tomatoes. And in the center, I'm going to put cilantro. I like cilantro. I think it's very fresh tasting. A lot of people think it tastes like soap. So again, and I do want to show you something that is kind of the easy way to do this. If I just need a little bit of parsley or cilantro or any spice like that, a lot of times, and I've already washed this, I will just pull off a few sprigs, and with my scissors, I will just kind of fold them up, and with my scissors, I will just chop them. If I don't need very much, that's for me the easiest way to do it. So a little cilantro going on, and there you have it. So you would serve this by putting it out. I kind of hate to dig into it because it's so pretty, but I'll dig into a little bit on this side. And serve it with chips, or you can also put a spoon out so everybody can dip into it. But when you get your bite, you've got all the goodie on there, and I'm gonna eat it. Very, very tasty. But easy to do. You can do it ahead. You can do it earlier in the day and just cover it with saran and leave it. Easy peasy. Okay, I'm gonna walk you through the chili. But this is what we call like Midwestern chili. It's not green chili stew. It's ground beef. It's onions. It's garlic. It's canned beans. Kidney beans. I also put a can of pinto beans in it, can of tomatoes, and chili powder. I don't know if you can see in it. And it just cooks till everything blends and tastes yummy. But what's fun about this is that when you serve it, you could put many of the same things we just put in the dip platter as a topping. So I got a bowl out. So if I was going to put this out on my table, I would put something like this, which has shredded cheddar cheese, chopped onions, and Fritos, because those are all things I like on top of my chili. I would also might put some sour cream out. I might put some tomatoes. So you'd offer it to somebody, let them fill their bowl, and then whatever toppings they like on top of it. But this is the kind of chili that we made when I was growing up, before we started making green chili stew, and it's yummies. I worked at a restaurant years ago that did what they called Cincinnati chili, and they put that on spaghetti strings, which was a new thing to me, but they loved it. So that's another way to do it. But by having this done, putting it in your slow cooker so it'll stay warm, and then having your toppings ready, it's an easy thing for people to grab as the game goes on or as they get hungry. So that's the chili element. Then naturally you want to have dessert, and I'm thinking layers again. This recipe is called anything you want it to be called. I've seen it called Magic Cookie Bars, 7-layer bars, Hello Dollies, and my favorite is a friend of mine years ago brought it to a cookie exchange, and she carefully typed it up and she called them Fat Thigh Bars, which is kind of a good name. What it is, the base layer is always crushed graham crackers. It says 1.5 cups. Well, I was too busy measuring to think. I took a package of graham crackers and I crushed them up. What was 1.5 cups plus that? So I should have put them all in, but I was busy measuring. So it's a stick of butter melted, the graham cracker crumbs mixed together, pressed in the bottom of a 9x13 pan. Then the layers are, again, what you want. This has a cup of chocolate chips, a cup of butterscotch chips, a cup of shredded coconut, and a cup or so of chopped nuts. And I happen to have some pecans and some walnuts, so I put them both in. Then what's the magic about it is sweetened condensed milk. Not evaporated milk, but sweetened condensed milk. So you layer everything in your pan, and then you take open the can of sweetened condensed milk and pour it over the layers. Make sure they're all covered, then you stick it in the oven for about 20 minutes. That's it. If you wanted to put M&Ms in there, if you wanted to put any other kind of chip, anything like that, just make those layers go. And what you get is this delicious, gooey, chocolatey, yummy layer. I really like the butterscotch chips in it. That to me is what makes it, because I don't use them all the time. But again, it's just layers and the sweetened condensed milk, and you're good to go. So those are some ideas for kind of fast and easy to hold dishes for Sunday. We've got a lot of dip mixes, we've got prepared salsas, we've got all of those things. So it's really a chance to be with your friends and yell at the opposing team or support your team or laugh at the commercials. Whatever turns you on, it's a huge holiday, and we wish that you have a great time at it. So these are some ideas. We've got a lot of things to help you out. If you don't want to do any of this, you just want to buy a jar of salsa and put it out, we can get you chips and dips and salsa, and we can get you dip mixes and cracker mixes and football and helmet cookie cutters so that you can support your team. So Now We're Cooking is at the northeast corner of Paseo del Norte in Wyoming. We are open from 11 to 4 Monday through Saturday. We hope to see you soon, and we hope your favorite team wins. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye now.